Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever reached that point in your life where your heart is tired of waiting, where you've done everything you know how to do, prayed, worked, believed, hoped, and still nothing seems to move? It feels like the heavens are silent, like the promises have been delayed, like time itself has turned against you. And in the middle of that silence, when your strength starts to fade, God whispers one command that changes everything: just relax. Everything will come to you. You see, when God speaks those words, He is not asking you to be lazy. He is commanding you to trust, because the greatest act of faith is not in doing more. It is in resting while you wait for God to move. Many people misunderstand this. They think that peace is the result of everything going right. But the truth is deeper. Peace is what God gives before everything goes right. When you learn to relax in God, you learn to live in the rhythm of divine timing. You stop chasing. You stop forcing. And you start allowing, because what belongs to you cannot miss you. And what misses you was never meant to be yours. God knows when to bring things together. He knows when to open the right door, when to place the right person, when to unfold the right opportunity. The moment you stop trying to control everything and simply surrender to His timing, that's when miracles begin to flow effortlessly. Many people live anxious lives not because God is late, but because they are early. They run ahead of Him. They try to make things happen by their own understanding. And when it doesn't work, they doubt His plan. But God is never late. He is precise. He moves like the sun rising at dawn. Not 1 second too soon, not 1 second too late. When God says relax, He is not telling you to give up. He is telling you to come back to your spiritual center. He is reminding you that you are not in control. He is. You are not the source, you are the vessel. You are not the provider, you are the receiver. When you remember this truth, fear loses its grip. Anxiety begins to fade. The storm may still rage around you, but your heart stands still because you know who holds the waves. God is in control of the wind and the water. He knows how to bring peace to chaos, how to bring clarity to confusion, how to bring beauty from pain. So many times we panic because we think silence means absence. But silence is often the sign that God is working behind the scenes. When you can't see movement, it doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means the foundation is being laid where your eyes cannot see. Like a seed buried under the soil, it looks dead from the surface, but life is growing beneath. God hides your blessings in the soil of patience, and those who can relax and trust Him in the unseen moments are the ones who eventually walk into the fullness of their destiny. Relaxation in God is not passive, it is powerful. It is the stance of a soul that knows its source. It is the posture of someone who has stopped wrestling with the process and has started flowing with divine timing. When you relax in God, you are saying, I trust your hand even when I cannot trace it. You are saying, even if I don't understand the path, I believe in your purpose. That kind of faith moves heaven. That kind of faith invites favor because God is drawn to peace. His power flows where there is stillness. The anxious heart blocks the flow of miracles, but the calm heart becomes a channel for divine manifestation. You may be in a waiting season right now. You may be wondering when the breakthrough will come, when the healing will arrive, when the answer will finally be revealed. But God says, just relax. You don't have to chase what I have already prepared. You don't have to beg for what is already written with your name on it. What belongs to you is already finished in the spiritual realm. It is only waiting for divine timing to bring it into the physical. The more you rest in trust, the faster it comes, because faith and rest are connected. Anxiety delays, peace accelerates. The world will tell you to keep grinding, keep hustling, keep pushing until something breaks. But God's way is different. His blessings are not earned through exhaustion. They are received through alignment. When your heart is aligned with His will, you stop striving and start flowing. You realize that nothing you force will ever last, but everything you receive through surrender will stand forever. You see, when you try to make things happen your way, you might get results, but they will drain you. But when you let God do it His way, it comes with peace and it stays. Think of the river that flows gently. It doesn't struggle to move forward. It simply follows the course that has been carved for it, and yet it reaches the ocean every time. The same is true for the soul that trusts God's direction. You will reach your destination not by struggling, but by flowing. Every time you panic, you step out of that flow. Every time you relax, you return to it. This is what it means to live by divine rhythm, to trust that every delay, every detour, every closed door is part of the current that is carrying you exactly where you need to be. God never told you to figure everything out. He told you to trust Him. He never said to understand every reason. He said to rest in His wisdom. The moment you stop trying to understand and start to trust, your life begins to unfold with divine ease. The doors that once refused to open suddenly swing wide. The people who once overlooked you suddenly remember your name. The opportunities that seem impossible begin to appear out of nowhere. That's what happens when you live in surrender. You attract what was chasing you all along. There are times when God will intentionally slow you down, not to punish you, but to protect you. Sometimes you think a delay is a curse, but it is actually divine mercy. If He gave you what you wanted too soon, it would destroy you. You are still being shaped, still being prepared for the weight of what's coming. That's why He tells you to relax, because your rest is proof of your trust. When you can relax in the middle of uncertainty, heaven takes notice. When you stop worrying about what you cannot control, that's when God begins to move what you cannot move. When you relax in God, you no longer need to compete, compare, or prove yourself. You no longer need to chase validation from others. You know that what is meant for you cannot be taken by anyone else. You begin to walk with quiet confidence, a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. People will look at you and wonder how you can be so calm when everything around you is unstable. And you'll know it's because your anchor is not in this world. Your peace is not dependent on outcomes. Your confidence is rooted in the unchanging nature of God. Everything you're waiting for is already on its way, but God is testing your ability to stay calm while it's on the road to you. Can you still worship while you wait? Can you still speak faith when nothing looks like it's happening? Can you still rest while everything in you wants to run ahead? That's what separates those who live in peace from those who live in panic. Those who relax in God understand that nothing truly theirs will ever miss them. Those who do not trust end up exhausting themselves, chasing. what they could have simply received through peace. When God says, just relax, everything will come to you, He is inviting you into a realm where striving ends and surrender begins. This is not weakness. This is strength of the highest form. It takes courage to trust when you cannot see. It takes faith to rest when everything inside you is screaming to take control. But understand this, what you are fighting for with your own strength, God can deliver to your doorstep without a single struggle. The things that wear you down are the very things God can handle in a single command. You may be exhausted from trying to make everything happen, but God is saying, stop wrestling with what is already written in your favor. Do you realize that nothing in this world can stop what God has destined for you? Not people, not delays, not circumstances. The forces that come against you are powerless. When God has spoken over your life, when He says it will happen, it will happen. The only thing that can delay your peace is your own anxiety. That's why God says relax, because your worry does not move Him. Your panic does not accelerate His plan, and your frustration does not alter His timing. The only thing that truly moves God is your trust. Faith is the language that heaven understands. Many people live their entire lives trying to prove their worth, trying to earn blessings, trying to make something happen by their own might. But God does not bless effort alone. He blesses surrender. When you relax in His presence, you show Him that you believe He is who He says He is, the provider, the sustainer, the one who never fails. To relax in God means to sit in the assurance that what is meant for you is already being arranged. Every connection, every opportunity, every breakthrough, it's already written in your story. God is simply waiting for you to calm your heart enough to receive it. Have you noticed that the more you chase something, the further it seems to run away? That's because desperation repels blessings, but peace attracts them. When your spirit is calm, it becomes magnetic to divine favor. The energy of faith draws what you need into your life, but the vibration of fear pushes it away. God wants to bring things to you with ease, but He cannot place new blessings into hands that are clenched in worry. The moment you open your hands, the moment you release control, that is when He begins to fill them. There are some seasons when God will deliberately close doors, not because He wants to punish you, but because He wants to protect you from lesser things. You may cry over what didn't work out. You may mourn over who left. But one day you will look back and realize if that door had opened, it would have destroyed you. God saw what you couldn't. He knew that your heart was too valuable to be wasted in the wrong place. That's why He says, relax. You didn't lose anything that was meant for you. If it walked away, it wasn't yours. If it failed, it wasn't part of your divine story. When you learn to relax in the wisdom of God, you stop asking, why did this happen? And start saying, God, what are you teaching me through this? Because behind every delay is a lesson. Behind every disappointment is direction. Behind every closed door is divine redirection. You may not see it now, but one day you'll understand that every no was preparing you for a greater yes. And when that moment comes, you will thank God not only for what He gave, but also for what He withheld. Because His protection is sometimes disguised as rejection. There is a deep peace that comes when you realize that your timing is not better than God's timing. He sees the full picture. You see only a single frame. You may think you're ready, but God knows what is still being built inside of you. Sometimes He slows you down so you can grow into the version of yourself that can carry what He's about to release. If He gave it too soon, it would crush you. So He waits until your spirit is matured, your faith is anchored, and your heart is strong enough to handle the blessing. Then what once felt delayed will arrive right on time. Relaxation in God is not laziness, it is alignment. It is the discipline of trusting more and worrying less. It is the spiritual wisdom to understand that everything that belongs to you will come without you having to beg for it. You don't have to chase your purpose. You only need to walk in obedience, and purpose will chase you. You don't have to fight for recognition. When the time is right, God will place your name in the right hearts and rooms. You don't have to rush love. When you are at peace, the right soul will find you without confusion or struggle. God's timing is flawless. Every blessing that is meant for you is being prepared in this very moment. Even when you feel forgotten, even when it looks like nothing is happening, God is orchestrating connections that you don't even know exist yet. He is speaking your name in places your feet have never walked. He is preparing hearts, opening parts, aligning details. You cannot see it now, but He is already ahead of you, setting the stage for your arrival. That is why He says relax, because if you knew how carefully everything is being arranged, you would stop worrying completely. You may think that waiting means nothing is happening, but waiting is the soil of transformation. Waiting is where faith grows, patience is refined, and trust is perfected. Waiting is where you learn to rely on God more deeply than ever before. When everything around you seems motionless, your faith begins to take root underground. And when the time is right, it will sprout with abundance so great that you will understand why you had to wait so long. God does not make you wait to frustrate you. He makes you wait to prepare you. There is a rhythm in the way God moves. If you watch the waves of the sea, they rise and fall in perfect timing. They never rush, they never delay. The tide always comes in at its appointed hour. So it is with the blessings of God. They move according to divine rhythm, not human impatience. When you are anxious, you fight against that rhythm. When you are peaceful, you move with it. And the one who moves with the rhythm of God lives in a constant flow of favor, because peace is the highest form of trust. It tells God, I believe you even when I don't see proof. There will be times when life will test your peace. You will face storms that shake your faith, voices that tell you to panic, moments that tempt you to give up. But in those moments, remember the stillness of God's presence. He is not in the chaos, He is in the calm. When you choose peace, you choose power. The world may look at you and call you passive, but in reality, you are standing in unshakable faith. While others fight battles that are not theirs to fight, you stand still and watch God work on your behalf. And when He moves in ways that leave no doubt that it was Him all along. Sometimes God allows the pressure to build just to reveal how much faith you truly have. It's easy to trust when everything is smooth. It's harder when everything feels uncertain. But that's where your faith proves itself real. That's where you show heaven that your peace is not dependent on circumstances. It's anchored in the unchanging nature of God. When you reach that level of trust, no storm can break you, no delay can discourage you, and no rejection can make you question your worth, because you know God is faithful. So if life feels heavy right now, if you are tired of waiting, if you are wondering when your season will come, hear this deeply, it will come. But you must not lose your peace before it does. The enemy wants you restless, anxious, doubtful, because a restless heart cannot hear God clearly. But a relaxed heart becomes a receiver of divine instruction. When your spirit is still, you start to sense what others cannot sense. You hear God's whispers, you recognize divine timing, and you move in wisdom instead of emotion. Peace is your power. Rest is your weapon. Calm is your confidence. Because when you are calm, you can hear the steps of destiny approaching. God will not deliver his blessings into the hands of those who are panicking. He gives them to those who have learned to wait in stillness, who have mastered the art of trusting, even in the unknown. Everything that is meant for you is already written with your name on it. It is already traveling through time and circumstance to find you. Nothing can stop it, no mistake, no opposition, no delay. The only question is, will you stay at peace long enough to receive it? God does not want you to suffer through your waiting season. He wants you to grow through it. Every day that you choose peace over panic, you are proving your faith. Every moment that you choose to rest instead of worry, you are attracting the promises closer. When you truly relax in God, something changes within you. You stop asking and start saying, whenever you will. You stop fearing the unknown and start embracing it as sacred territory. You stop doubting your path and start walking it with quiet assurance. You begin to understand that your life is not random, it is divinely authored. Every page, every paragraph, every pause, it all serves a purpose in the masterpiece God is writing through you. And one day when everything falls into place, when the waiting is over and the blessings begin to flow, you will look back and realize why God kept telling you to relax. You will see that the delays were never denials, they were divine preparation. You will see that the moments you thought were wasted were actually sacred seasons of growth. You will see that the pain that once broke you was shaping you into the vessel capable of carrying the weight of your destiny. So rest in that truth. Be still in your spirit. God has not forgotten you. He has not overlooked you. He is simply preparing the stage so that when your time comes, nothing and no one can stand in the way. When he moves, he will move quickly. But until then, he calls you to relax, to breathe, to trust, and to know that everything will come to you exactly when it's meant to. When God says, just relax, everything will come to you. It is not merely a comforting phrase. It is a divine command. It is a sacred invitation to step into the flow of divine alignment, where fear no longer governs your choices and time no longer intimidates your spirit. God is reminding you that nothing in your life is random. Every delay, every turn, every silence is woven with purpose. The very moment you stop forcing and start trusting, the very instant you choose peace over panic, heaven begins to shift in your favor. Your role is not to make things happen. It is to stay faithful while God makes them happen. You are not meant to control the storm. You are meant to rest in the one who controls it. You are not called to understand every step. You are called to walk each one with faith. When you stop running in fear and start walking in trust, everything that has been chasing you begins to turn around and find its way to you. blessings, peace, opportunities, divine connections all begin to move in your direction when your heart is still. Relaxation in God is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. It is the declaration of a soul that knows, my times are in God's hands. It is the confidence of one who understands that what is written for them cannot be erased. You do not need to rush. You only need to align. You do not need to push. You only need to flow. The one who learns to rest in divine timing becomes unstoppable because their energy is not wasted in fear, but invested in faith. So breathe deeply. Let go of the weight you have been carrying. Stop trying to control what only God can manage. Let your soul sink into the peace of knowing that everything meant for you is already on its way. The right doors will open. The right people will appear. The right moments will unfold. And when it happens, it will not feel forced. It will feel like it was always meant to be. This is the power of divine rest. This is the beauty of spiritual surrender. To relax in God is to live with the awareness that you are guided, protected, and provided for. Nothing can steal what He has planned for you. Nothing can stop what He has prepared for you. Everything, yes, everything will come in its appointed time. So walk with peace in your heart and faith in your steps. Trust the unseen hand that moves all things into place. And remember, when God said, just relax, everything will come to you, He meant it. The moment you believe that truth, the moment you truly rest in it, the flow of divine timing will carry you into everything you've been waiting for. Without struggle, without striving, without fear. Because when you trust God fully, everything truly comes to you